was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Now tourists don't really know our country, how this thing go. A car coming on the other side, between the seat they won't hide. Look out, they shout with discontent. They think we have an accident. Say we driving on the wrong side. By the law we don't abide. But I was a taxi driver, was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Driving taxi late at night to get your money, you got to fight. My people don't understand, like them I am a poor man. Took a man to chop on a knife to my throat, I was a goner. Didn't see no dog but heard a bark, was me. Yeah, when I was a taxi driver, I was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver, and when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Pick up a tourist the other day, paradise he want to go play. Pull up in front of the hotel door, this was the end of the tour. I said $35. The man grabbed me by the collar. Talk about scared and be funny, I feel my pants. I thought I was a taxi driver, not a deep sea diver. When I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver, not a deep sea diver. When I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving, no more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No taxi driving, no deep sea diving.
Tonight, another fire ravages through the island of Bimini. Also, an in-depth look at how the murder of a Pike worker has impacted consistent electricity supply. And later, still talking energy woes and its impact on the tourism market. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle Longley. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, tragedy strikes Bimini yet again. A community still reeling from the devastating impact of a raging fire that nearly upended the lives of several residents. And tonight, what's being done about the crippling lack of critical resources to deal with those issues. Our Jose Etienne takes it from here.
Bimini. We've been through this before.
Those heartbreaking words capturing the pain of a community forced to relive a nightmare. The sight of homes engulfed in flames stirring raw memories of the devastating 2023 fire that destroyed 4 homes. 3 years later, residents find themselves back in the same place, picking through the ashes of their lives. Thick black smoke filled the sky as the fire ripped through 6 homes, reducing decades of memories to rubble. Eyewitness News understands the blaze wiped out not only homes, but small businesses, sources of income, and years of hard work built by the Robbins family and others.
I never felt that kind of darkness, emptiness in my life. It's an undescribable feeling.
Among them, Naria Roll, who recounted the horror of watching the fire spread as she and others rushed to escape.
I heard something crackling and I woke up and it was right to my daughter's bed. It was the plug from the air condition, and I woke her up and I woke up and I went and I turned the breaker off immediately.
But with the flames moving rapidly, it quickly became a battle she could not win.
I grabbed the fire extinguisher, but the pin would not pull. And I knew I couldn't put water on it. So we tried to smother it and then it just kept getting wet because it was just me and my pregnant daughter. So we just got out. We got out with what we have on.
As the fire grew, so did the community response. Residents formed human chains, passing bucket after bucket of water from the shore in a desperate effort to save what they could. Photos from the scene show police officers shoulder to shoulder with firefighters, every available pair of hands joining the fight. But those images have also renewed tough questions.
Where is the fire truck? Do we have to continue to lose in Bimini?
For many residents, the devastation has reignited long-standing concerns about whether family island communities have the emergency resources they need when disaster strikes. A debate that reaches far beyond partisan politics.
Fire truck cannot move through a settlement the way that it needs to, because the homes in the areas are very close together. So you need to get fire pumps. You got to get the pumps that are going to be able to get into the water with long hoses and just execute them inside to various residents, and it'll be better.
Bimini's Member of Parliament, Randy Roll, has pledged his full support to the families impacted as he joined residents on the ground during the response. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper and other government officials were in Bimini Thursday assessing the damage and beginning the task of helping a community that once again has been forced to start over. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
A 31-year-old Russian national has been airlifted to New Providence after suffering serious injuries in an industrial accident aboard an oil tanker in waters near Bimini. Police say the man was working inside the engine room of the vessel Tuesday morning when he reportedly fell approximately 30 feet. Authorities say the vessel later arrived off Bimini, where the injured man, accompanied by a relative, was taken to the Bimini Community Clinic for treatment. A doctor determined he had sustained a broken leg, a broken right arm, and possible internal injuries. He was subsequently airlifted to New Providence for further medical care, where his current condition is unknown. Investigations into this matter continue. A 22-year-old man apparently attempted to harm himself while in custody at a police station in New Providence. Authorities say shortly after 10 on Tuesday night, officers conducting a routine inspection of the cell block found the man with his shirt wrapped around his neck. Officers immediately intervened and called emergency medical services. The man was assessed at the station before being transported to hospital for further medical treatment and evaluation. While the station location has not been named, police say the investigation remains ongoing.
Well, in other news tonight, could the effects of that broad daylight killing of an American electrical company worker months ago be playing a bigger role in persistent power problems than many realize? It's a possibility our Danielle Dean looked into today, and she brings the latest in this report.
Is the domino effect of the March 21st shooting of American Pike worker Cody Castillo worth taking a closer look at? By now, Pike was meant to be further along with repairs to the local system. Now, Bahamians are growing frustrated with what remains an evident power problem. Sunday's widespread blackout has sparked debate about why electricity is still unreliable in 2026. A number of residents took to social media to relay their grievances, arguing the country has too many resources to still be dependent on an outdated system, urging government officials to heighten efforts to incorporate renewable energy. In late 2024, the Davis administration entered a 25-year contract with Pike Corporation through Bahamian management company Island Grid Solutions for the upgrade and management of BPL's transmission and distribution network. Since then, less than 2 years later, the company backed out of the deal, and this came a month after the killing of American Pike worker Cody Castillo by a senior Bahamian police officer, though officials claim the two weren't related. Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis spoke to the difficulty the death of the American electrical contractor would bring.
And so we had a break in our foundational project when the unfortunate incident happened with the employee from Pike who passed. Yeah. And that took out 8 weeks from our foundational work. Everything completely paused because there was that incident, right? So we now have been pushed back. That's a delay. That's a project delay. This is some of the things that you discuss when you're negotiating those agreements, these unfortunate delays on the project, on the timeline, and how you make that back up. Mm-hmm. So we unfortunately have to complete those in months that we thought wouldn't be so hot, but unfortunately is hot.
Yeah. A month ago, the minister noted work has to be done in unanticipated work conditions, making it difficult to meet some of the intended deadlines.
So you're having some occurrences that you naturally wouldn't have expected. One, if you're working in cooler temperatures, and two, if we were able to complete it in the timeline that we originally expected, but for that incident.
As for future solutions, Prime Minister Philip Davis promised that by 2030, over 30% of the nation's electricity needs will be met using solar power. But in the meantime, Colby Davis is expected to make an address from the office of the Prime Minister on Thursday. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Multiple power outages across the capital have raised frustrations for many residents, but tonight businesses that heavily target the tourism market are feeling the impact a little too immensely. Our Rebecca Bain has the details.
They always cut the power off when my place for the people.
Tourists is what we strive on. This is where we make our money.
Thousands of tourists visit the Bahamas each year seeking a world-class experience, but many have instead encountered disruptions caused by repeated power failures. Samuel Roll, manager of Legacy Deck, and Patrice Adderley, founder of the New Duff, say the frequent outages have become a major source of disappointment for visitors and an embarrassment for both the country and their businesses.
When they come, they can't even get a cool drink because we can't even give them ice. We don't have ice to help them here. And it's frustrating. They can't sit down and enjoy themselves in a cool environment. That heat out there's nothing to play with.
They come here for this Bahamian food, and then when they come here, it ain't like the power will be off for about 20 minutes or 15 minutes, you know what I mean? It'll be off for hours.
Often forced to turn away customers who sustain their operations while also coping with delayed operations that follow each outage.
That's a light go off for about 4 or 5 hours. So it takes me another hour or so to get the computer back up. And that doing the business bad.
Most of our equipment is electrical. We need mixers to go, we need microwaves, we need the cash register, the coolers, all of this. And this affects our business because we have stuff that damaged because everything done so down. I mean, it's been out of power for almost 24 hours, basically.
And these issues trickle down to their employees.
But then I can't have my staff them working in the dark, probably get burn their hand or get burn, they can't see what they're doing. And then I don't want to put out food in the dark because presentation is the key.
You want them to be cool, you want them working in a cool environment. Staff got to be paid, so if you 24 hours without making anything, and you got to pay staff. I mean, it's a lot.
Adderley argues that the Bahamas has struggled with electricity issues for far too long and should be further advanced in providing dependable power. She says it is unfair for consumers to continue paying for an inconsistent supply of electricity.
I want to see some deduction on my light bill. I want to see something. Because, I mean, if you don't pay, you get cut off.
Following this past weekend island-wide outage, Minister of Energy, Utilities and Aviation Jobat Kobe Davis said in a statement that she understands the frustration of Bahamians and that ensuring a reliable, sustainable and affordable energy supply remains the ministry's top priority. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
In news from the Crime Beat, police are investigating 2 separate drug seizures in New Providence with more than $30,000 worth of suspected hydroponic marijuana confiscated. In the first incident, officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, assisted by a K9 support unit, executed a search warrant at a residence on Kemp Road shortly before 11 Tuesday morning. Police say a K9 led officers to several clear plastic bags containing suspected hydroponic marijuana. A 35-year-old man and a 31-year-old woman were arrested. A further search of the property's exterior led to the discovery of additional packages. That seizure weighed approximately 4.6 pounds and has an estimated street value of $10,500. Later that day, around 4:30, DEU officers assisted by the Central Division checked a shoreline in western New Providence after receiving information. There, police discovered a large package containing 10 pounds of suspected hydroponic marijuana, valued at $20,000. No arrests were made in connection with the second discovery. Altogether, police seized 14.6 pounds of suspected hydroponic marijuana with a combined estimated street value of $30,500. Investigations into both matters continue. And a 25-year-old Anton Roll being hauled before the magistrate's court in connection with a string of crimes that has at the center the murder of a 63-year-old man. Prosecutor Inspector Dion Barr alleges that Roll killed Perry Cox. The victim, a locally renowned unionist, was found dead with stab wounds inside his Nassau Village home on June 17th. The discovery was made after police responded to reports about Cox's single-story apartment being on fire. Roll was charged with arson of a dwelling and was also charged with stealing, as Barr also alleges that the accused stole Cox's gold vehicle valued at $10,000. Due to the nature of the charge, he was not required to enter a plea and was denied bail. He returns to court on October 22nd for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Until then, he will be held on remand at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. And a 25-year-old man was on Tuesday sentenced to 9 years imprisonment for having an illegal relationship with an underage co-worker. Dylan Simon, now 25-year-old, being slammed with a 9-year sentence after he pled guilty to 7 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old girl in 2024. Prosecutors say the sex offender was just 22 when the crimes happened, and although the defense described the teen victim as a willing participant, she could not legally consent because she was under 16. To the defense's point, Justice Renee McKay noted that the law existed to protect children from sexual exploitation, manipulation, and harm. McKay noted that Simon had no prior convictions along with his guilty plea, expressed remorse, leading her to conclude that he was capable of rehabilitation. After taking into account the prevalence of sex crimes against children, McKay said that a sentence of 9 years in prison, less time spent on remand, was appropriate. In other news tonight, Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Frazette Gibson, raising concerns over what she describes as unacceptable working conditions at a government building in Grand Bahama. Gibson says employees at the Obadiah Wilchcombe complex in 8 Mile Rock have reportedly been working without air conditioning for nearly 2 months, despite soaring temperatures.
I'm deeply concerned and profoundly disappointed by reports that employees at the Obadiah Wilchcombe complex in 8 Mile Rock have been forced to work without air conditioning for more than 8 weeks. during one of the hottest periods of the year. And this situation is entirely unacceptable. No government employee or any worker, for that fact, should be expected to endure such conditions. Requiring public servants to work in excessive heat raises serious concerns about employee health and safety, workplace morale, and overall productivity.
Gibson says the matter now requires immediate attention, urging the relevant authorities to treat the issue with the urgency it deserves.
I therefore call upon the government and the ministry responsible to stop treating this matter as a low priority and take immediate action to restore the air conditioning system at the Obadiah Wilchcombe complex in 8 Mile Rock. If permanent repairs cannot be completed without delay, temporary cooling measures must be implemented immediately so as to ensure safety for all.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis calling on government MPs to be transparent about the spending of their $150,000 capital grant allowances. The amount was initially $100,000 distributed to constituencies before the $50,000 increase by Prime Minister Philip Davis back in 2023.
What I would like them to do is look at thoroughly scrutinize the additional $150,000 that are given to MP for their constituency. You're hearing a lot of different things that are occurring around the world with such monies, and therefore I want to be assured, and the Bahamian public want to be assured, that that money is spent on the constituents and not necessarily on the member of parliament through some back channel or some other mechanism that we want to see.
Given recent concerns about untoward spending locally and in countries like the UK, Minnis says there should be a clear outlining of where expenditure goes and reassurance that funds are genuinely being spent on the constituencies.
I only want to see and be convinced that the money is going directly to the constituency and no backyard channel where the money goes to the member of parliament. I want to avoid transparency, that's all.
Innovation and National Development Minister Sebastian is back home after advancing digital partnerships for the Bahamas during a working mission in Geneva. Bastian represented the country at global discussions on artificial intelligence, governance, and the AI for Good Global Summit. He also met with officials from Estonia and Singapore, where both countries agreed in principle to explore technical cooperation agreements in areas including digital government, cybersecurity, AI governance, and digital identity. The minister also signed the host country agreement for the Bahamas to host the World Telecommunication ICT Policy Forum in Nassau this September. He says technical teams will now begin to work to turn these agreements into action. For a full read up on this, log on to our social media pages. And coming up, and later an uptick in traffic accidents has triggered action from the Ministry of Transport to promote safe driving practices. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso gas station has dropped to $6.70 per gallon, the lowest right now. Rubis gas station is the highest right now at $6.87 per gallon, and the Shell gas station coming in the middle at $6.75 per gallon. This is Eyewitness News, and welcome back. Well, the cosmetology industry has for some time been known to be a multi-billion-dollar business worldwide. But are local businesses experiencing that level of profit? It's a question our Laurencia Smith recently explored.
Vice President of the Bahamas Cosmetology and Barbers Association, Anton Minnis, says the local industry has not yet reached its full potential, despite significant headways being made in recent years.
The industry, it is an industry of small margins. With fluctuating costs, prices, and utilities and things of that nature, we find ourselves always operating on the border.
During the budget communication, government cut duties on weaves and wigs to help persons living with cancer and alopecia. Although the tax break was not directly for the cosmetology industry, they say they welcome it. Minnis says, however, he hopes for some additional tax breaks that benefit the industry directly.
For raw materials, concessions on things that we bring in like furniture, concessions on things that we need like PPEs, personal protection equipment within the industry. It would be good to extend those concessions to those things for us as well.
But this is not the only implication that is halting many of them reaching their full potential. The association vice president says members are feeling the pressure through power bills and frequent outages, which continues to disrupt their businesses.
The person himself is the business, and because it's up to their effort, you're able to tweak by that we have. Those things create a deficit in your revenue generation, so that doesn't translate when it comes down to the end of the month.
But the industry, through challenges, continue to grow, and many are hoping that a seat at the table with government will help increase their chances of greater success.
Prevention and controls that are being put in place by Dr. Cheyenne Williams, that's how they bill us, especially in licensing and things of that nature. You know, we want to make our contributions, but then we don't want our contribution to also stifle our growth.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
In light of recent traffic deaths that have sparked public alarm, the Ministry of Transport has launched its One Life Too Many campaign in an effort to promote safe driving. It comes days after 14 girls and a man lost their lives from a violent crash on Shirley Street. The country also saw a traffic-related death in Grand Bahama and another in Abaco during that period. Transport Minister Leon Lundy says the campaign's message will be loud and clear in schools, churches, and public arenas as officials decry irresponsible driving.
First, we have re-engaged the National Road Safety Committee, and it begins meeting this very month. bringing together the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Works, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Road Traffic Department, health services, educators, local government, and civil society. A dangerous intersection, an impaired driver, and a curve in the road, and unsafe driving speed. Concerns like these will no longer sit in separate silos. Second, education and enforcement will move together because neither alone can save lives. Third, we will confront the responsibilities of the government. Through the National Committee, we will work with our colleagues across government departments to pursue practical solutions. Drivers have responsibilities, and so does the state. We accept ours. Fourth, no Bahamian should ever feel that driving under the influence is their only way home. We will engage taxi operators and transportation stakeholders to expand safe, reliable alternatives.
Now, in light of those deadly and tragic incidents, there has been increased calls for road laws, not just to be enforced, but to be more stringent. While Minister Lundy suggests that those calls won't fall on deaf ears, but maintains that government must act logically.
I know some will ask about stronger penalties, speed cameras, and changes to our laws. Everything is on the table. We are studying what has worked in other jurisdictions and consulting with stakeholders. And any measure we bring forward must be practical, enforceable, and focused on saving lives rather than simply generating penalties. When those decisions are made, we will bring them to the Bahamian people openly. Our work also honors the United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety, which calls on every nation to cut road deaths and serious injuries in half by 2030. The Bahamas intends to do its part, and the campaign is how we begin. And now, a word of caution. Every traffic officer and every emergency room doctor knows a truth I must share with you. The most important safety device on any road is the judgment of the person behind the wheel.
Meanwhile, two former political rivals putting their differences aside to promote the Ministry of Transport new road safety campaign. Opposition Senator Rick Fox and Sports and Youth Minister Mario Bowleg, who both vied for the Garden Hills parliamentary seat, collaborated on a video urging residents to exercise caution when on the roads, some calling it a strong show of how partisan politics should not transcend national issues.
Bahamas, we are all different. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different perspectives.
But when it comes to saving lives on our roads, there's something we can all agree on.
Road safety isn't political.
It's personal.
Every life lost is someone's child, someone's parent, someone's friend.
And every one of us has a role to play in preventing the next tragedy.
Slow down.
Stay focused.
Put the phone away.
Never drink and drive.
Let's look out for one another and make it home safely.
Because one life lost on our road is one too many. One life too many.
The demolition of 64 structures in the Montgomery shantytown community, which left more than 200 people displaced, has sparked a national conversation about border security. While officials maintain the exercise was necessary to uphold the rule of law and protect the country's sovereignty, the operation has drawn mixed reaction from members of the public over how such actions should be carried out. Bahamas Christian Council President Pastor Mario Moxie says he supports the Bahamas' responsibility to secure its sovereignty, but believes the demolition has also shown a light on other issues.
Watching the video on the news, you see families being displaced, and you do wonder where they're going to go. I'm sure they have other family members that would take them in, but it becomes a point of we do need housing in our country. We need proper housing in our country. And so we need to take the steps to make sure that happens. Now, obviously, housing doesn't happen overnight, but you do wonder where these individuals are going and whether or not there will be another shanty town popping up someplace else. I think the authorities are aware of all the dynamics of what could possibly happen, and they'll continue to police that matter. Listening to the reports that I heard, there were a number of warnings that were going forth. And I applaud the authorities for taking the time to warn residents that the demolition was coming. And so I think, like I said, we have our sovereignty that we do need to protect, but at the same time, we need to show compassion.
In other news, Ambassador Devon Rolls, senior pastor of Kingdom Discipleship Center, has been re-elected as president of the National Association of Justices of the Peace. Ambassador Rolls is the second person to hold the seat after the association's founder. He said for him it was an honor, to say the least.
When I went to university, I had actually intended to pursue law, got a conviction to kind of turn in a different direction, even though I still have the law foundation. And when I came back, I always wanted to know, okay, God, how can I serve my country in this capacity? And so this Justice of the Peace presidency provides me that opportunity to speak to certain things, in addition to what all of the other things that I do. This term, we have quite a few new people who've joined the executive, and they come from all walks of life in the Bahamas, and they are eager to work. So I'm looking forward with great anticipation to see what contribution we can make to the jurisprudential development of our country.
Now, there's an interesting story behind the creation of Justices of the Peace that stems back to England. And while throughout the years the responsibilities of JPs have transformed, there are also some misconceptions about the title, like the belief that JPs in the Bahamas automatically have the credentials to officiate weddings.
In the Bahamas, you have to be appointed a marriage officer in order to be able to marry people legally. I believe some time ago they had it intertwined, but in recent times, you have to be a marriage officer, and Bahamas alone have that privilege to carry that function once they've been appointed. Justices of the Peace are literally they're an extended arm of the judicial arm in our country, extending out of the tradition in England. Justices of the Peace from, I think it's the 16th century, were first called peace officers. The tradition started whereby the sovereign wanted to award certain people who were not of royal blood in the communities with some office of distinction. And so people who had track records of being socially involved, good examples, law-abiding people, they were chosen as Justices of the Peace. And the same tradition is basically here in the country.
Still to come in Eyewitness News, the countdown to 53 continues, and tonight we are catching crabs. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
This is the ride on the weekend with my grandma to this place, Burger King Nassau, where grandma enjoyed her favorite flame grilled Whopper with fresh veggies, flame grilled beef just the way she likes it. And then I enjoyed my cheeseburger kids meal with a special treat.
And now, all grown up, I get to enjoy Burger King with these people, my friends, enjoying the same classic flame grilled Whopper. Let's just say, we know flame grilled tastes better.
Life moves fast, and the best moments happen when you get more from every connection.
Boy, life come true, eh? Appreciate it.
When your world is connected, more convenience comes naturally, so you can keep moving with more freedom and less interruption. From real-time updates to everyday essentials, you stay more in sync with life. Because when time matters, more reliability keeps you one step ahead. From home to work and everywhere life takes you, our network is built for more.
Yes, we've got everything secured in the cloud.
driven by a network built for today and designed to deliver more possibilities tomorrow.
Oh, how we getting ya?
Where entertainment is more immersive.
Who's again? Hey, what's in the game?
And real-life moments come with more access instantly. This is connectivity that feels out of this world. Join the family and experience more. It's good to be alive.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Oh, this is a big sandwich. I really like the honey mustard sauce. And then like the crispy bacon on it as well.
Oh, it's proper jack cheese. I love the spice. I love the crunch.
I love the original sandwich, but just that simple addition of bacon was like over the top.
The chicken is really good.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I rate this a 10 out of 10. I'd eat this again.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
The road to 53 continues, and again, we say thank you to our official Independence Wear sponsor, Fancy's Boutique. The highlight tonight is on a tradition that's been passed through generations, crab catching. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. had a master class today in the cultural phenomenon, and he joins me live with the latest. Linton?
Well, Janelle, we are 2 days away from the road to 53, our country's independence. And today, we took it back to the streets where we learned a good old crab catching lesson from 13-year-old Deshano, straight out of Andres. Now, today, when he taught me how to catch crab before that, I didn't know how to do it. But as you can see, I standing there. This is a little baby crab, but we caught some bigger ones earlier today. Let's take a look. Oh, again. Like that? Wow. There we go. All right, I learned something today.
Ahead of the Bahamas' 53rd independence, this Long Island man went back to basics in Andres, discovering what it really takes to catch crab before it becomes the star of some of our most beloved Bahamian meals. Meet 13-year-old Deshano Lee and his grandmother, Batsana Johnson, fellow Androsians who have mastered the art from crab catching to preparing the Bahamian favorite in many different ways. But before we can talk about the ways to prepare crab, the Grammy grandson duo had to break down the basics of crab catching for the newsman.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. Come squeeze it. Now you got it. You got it. Take it up. Take it up.
All right, there we go. From right here.
Just
like this?
Yes, there you go.
You hold it down like this. You need this to be easier. You can do it that way?
Yeah. You can do it like that.
Okay, let's see this one, yeah. Okay. So you break it from right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Hold it like this or?
No, I think.
Or hold it from the back?
Hold it like that.
Like this?
And then you lift the two binders up. Just shake them rough.
Like this?
Rough, yeah.
Now, Lee says on summer breaks he prefers to explore nature and learn his culture, which led him to learning the sport of crab catching from his grandmother.
The age of 10, my Grammy teach me. I was right here. I was scared about it, but now I'm a pro at it.
Johnson says her passion for teaching the younger generation is driven by a simple goal: keeping the traditions and time-honored techniques of the old Bahamas alive.
I turn the hose on, I clean out the crab pan, I throw some dry leaf in the crab pan. Well, in the olden days, the people used to use that, you know what I mean? Right. Because that's all they gotta find. They can't get them daily, but they scrap in the farm and they look sour.
Now, with the summer being known for crab walking and many preparing it in one of the top ways, the crab expert sent this message.
And you could cook crab in dough once they done already clean. The old-fashioned way with me, I see some people do it with beef, salt beef, ham, and this thing. I don't do that. I don't do that. I ain't loin that way. I loin my original crab.
The traditional way.
Yeah.
Now, for you all thinking about the crab and dough for independence, the stuffed crab, the crab and grits, the curry crab, whatever you like to do with your crab, we here on Nassau Street with the Johnsons. I showed you that they are here. I showed you that they have the best crab in town. So you come down there, you buy your crabs, and you celebrate Bahamian independence. I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
That's right.
Thanks, Linton. Well, as the country prepares to celebrate 53 years of independence, many Bahamians are reflecting on the nation's progress since 1973. While some believe the country has made major strides in areas like infrastructure, education, and economic development, others feel challenges such as the cost of living, crime, healthcare, and unreliable utilities show that much more work remains. Well, Eyewitness News turned to social media posing the question, do you believe the Bahamas has made significant progress over the past 53 years of independence? 8% of participants voted yes, we've made significant progress overall. 26% voted we've made progress, but much more needs to be done. 8% voted no, the country has not progressed enough. 58% voted we've gone backwards in some important areas. Be sure to vote on our daily polls posted on our social media pages. And still to come in Eyewitness News, our Laurentia Smith is up next with the latest in sports.
In his first official visit to an educational institution since assuming the portfolio, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, met with University of the Bahamas leaders to discuss the institution's strategic future and strengthen government collaboration.
I believe collectively, with the support of me as Minister, the support of the government, support of yourselves, I believe we can truly achieve the vision that you've set and the contributions that you have put in. Hopefully we can see them all come to fruition in a manner that you desire.
UB President Dr. Robert Blaine welcomed the meeting with ministry officials and praised the Board of Trustees for their work.
Having an alumnus as the minister is one of the best things that we could possibly ask for, and we're grateful. I'm grateful for that. I want to join the chair in saying that I have an incredible team. These are the people that do the real work. They do the heavy lifting here, and they make opportunities for our students that are just beyond imagination.
Chairperson of the board, Allison Maynard Gibson, expressed her gratitude to DPM Cooper for the timely visit and outlined the university's key priorities.
The board's number one priority is international and national accreditation. We already happily have become a candidate for SAC-COC accreditation. We expect by the end of this year to finish our compliance requirements.
John Lee McIntosh for Air Talk.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurentia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off in sports tonight, we are in the WNBA as our very own Jonquel Jones of the New York Liberty has been named to another All-Star. The New York Liberty Center has been selected to the 2026 AT&T WNBA All-Star Game, marking her sixth All-Star honor of her career and her second since joining the Liberty. Jones has been a force this season, averaging 15 15.1 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.8 assists, and 1.1 block per game.
It means a lot to me. Obviously, a different type of off season for me with having surgery and having to bounce back from that. It was uncharted territory, something I've never had to deal with before. And so, it feels good to be playing at an all-star level. So thank you for everybody that voted for me, took the time to do that. But yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be able to go out there and represent the Liberty.
Has also recorded 6 double-doubles this season and continued to showcase her unique ability to score inside and from beyond the arc. Now, the 2026 WNBA All-Star Weekend is set for July 25th at the United Center over in the Windy City. Congrats to JJ from all of us here at Eyewitness Sports. Now let's head on over to the tennis court, as the John McEnroe Tennis Center recently hosted a very exciting weekend of friendly competition. The Tennis Center over at Bahamas serving up some friendly competition over the holiday weekend, hosting its inaugural SummerSlam Mixed Double Tournament held on July 4th weekend, sponsored by High Noon and Heineken, brought together more than 30 local players and hotel guests for a morning of tennis, teamwork, and camaraderie. The round-robin tournament saw 8 teams advance to the knockout stage, with Belize Hilton and Erica Knowles finishing undefeated to claim the championship title. Jody Turnquest and Aisha Shepard scored second place, while Josh and Mackenzie Herman finished third. Director of Rackets Deron Donaldson says the success of the event highlights the center's commitment to growing racket sports in the Bahamas. We are thrilled with the success of the tournament, and we are committed to hosting more events, particularly in pickleball. Our goal is to continue to promote racket sports in the region and upholding our status as a world-class facility and ensuring that there is something here for our local community and our international guests. Well, congrats from us here at Eyewitness Sports. That's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Lauren Tia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Tomorrow on July 9th, join Verizon Media Group along with the Eyewitness News Team, 103.5 The Beat, Eye on the Nation, and Beyond the Headlines at our blood drive being held right here at ILTV Studios from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we do our part to help assist in tackling the shortage of blood at the country's blood bank. We hope to see you all join us right here tomorrow, right before Independence, for this community event. And coming up in Beyond the Headlines, more dissecting of today's top stories with host Shanique Miller and guests. Be sure to tune in right after this. And that does it for us at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janelle Longley, saying good night.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Become one of the most loudest voices in the opposition and one of the FNM's most talked about MPs. Tonight, Dr. Andre Rollins takes on the issues dominating the headlines and the sore subjects on the minds of Bahamians. Also tonight, Is Rollins positioning himself for leader of the FNM? Is he hoping former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis joins him? Coming up tonight, several families in Bimini burned out of their homes early this morning. The residents speaking out that there were no firefighting response mechanisms on the island. We look into that tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. Happy Independence, Bahamas. It's good to have you all along this evening. Well, the issues facing the nation are hard to miss, from energy security and economic opportunity to governance and the role of the opposition. Tonight, FNM MP and Shadow Minister for Energy, Dr. Andre Rollins, joins me for a candid conversation on the country's biggest challenges, the FNM's priorities, and the path he believes lies ahead. Good evening to you, Dr. Rollins. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Bahamas.
Happy Independence, by the way.
To you as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, as I said a minute ago, you've become one of the FNM's most outspoken voices on issues ranging from BPL and the economy to government accountability. Let's look at an area that you say the government is failing or has failed the Bahamian people, BPL. We have heard and know that BPL has an aged infrastructure that hasn't kept pace with the growth and increasing demands placed on it. The government has announced plans for an energy reform. So you say to them, though, come clean. What information do you believe is owed to the Bahamian people or being withheld from the public for you to tell them, come clean?
Well, I think if you're going to talk about a proper accounting of how we got here, looking at it from an historical perspective, many would acknowledge that the problems at what used to be BEC began when former chairman of BEC, the late Bradley Roberts, God rest his soul, was chairman of that utility company, and he initiated basically a scheme which involved providing electricity at significantly discounted rates in what amounted to a political effort to gain support for the government of the day, the Progressive Liberal Party. And what that did is effectively deprived the company of its much needed resources, the revenue that it ought to have generated to be able to feed or put back into the company. And so from as far back as the chairmanship of Mr. Roberts, the company, shortly after his plan to provide cheap electricity, which was not based on a fundamental approach to how you run a company. But that is where we go wrong in the country, whereby we allow utility companies to basically be run by politicians.
By politicians. So you feel as though
we are where we are now, not because the problem started with this administration, but a prior administration.
You went all the way back. Let's just talk. So you were saying that under the chairmanship or was he minister?
No, he at the time he was my recollection is that he was actually the chairman of BEC.
Under his chairmanship, and he would know, he's passed, he perhaps would say, listen, he needed to help people who couldn't help themselves and who couldn't afford electricity. So as you said, he made it cheaper. But you were saying that is when the downfall and this slump of BPL and then obviously lagging behind began.
Well, if you want to be able to appreciate the reality of our current situation, we have no one less than the communications director in the office of the Prime Minister saying that the government he is a part of has pledged a $1 billion investment in BPL. Where that $1 billion investment is coming from, or whether it has in fact begun, we have no evidence of that. But the bottom line is, as you indicated, we have a very aging infrastructure for the company. There are many persons discussing the fact that there has not been a maintenance plan in place. So we have a lot of equipment that has basically not being serviced the way it should be. And so recently, we had this catastrophic power failure this past weekend,
Yes.
where the government has sought to blame Mother Nature, calling it.
Oh, you don't believe that?
I absolutely do not believe that.
Oh,
they called it.
You saw the smoke. You saw the video with the smoke coming out the building.
I have no way of proving that that was a video of an event that occurred this past weekend. I don't. Beyond that, let's say that it was an event from this past weekend. How do I know that it was lightning that caused it? How do I know that it wasn't excessive demand on aging equipment that could not, the demand that is, could not be absorbed by the system that is currently in place? And so you had a surge of demand resulting in the breakdown of the infrastructure. That is very plausible, and I have more reason to believe that that is the case as opposed to an act of God or an event caused by Mother Nature. It's easy for a government to blame someone else other than itself. But don't blame God, all right? And if you're going to blame God, show us proof, especially when the minister who loves to be on television, in fact, she's a guest on your show very often. I find it difficult to believe that since this past weekend when this catastrophic failure occurred, she has not had the respect of the Bahamian people to show herself or put herself before the cameras to to have the media ask questions of her and for her to give an honest accounting of what transpired. Instead, she sent the CEO of BPL to basically like a lamb to the slaughter to be responsible for answering for something that she,
so
as
you
the
don't
overall
feel,
person responsible for BPL, is supposed to be responsible for
I'm not speaking
addressing.
Yes, I'm not her voice on this interview tonight, but I'm saying, what about the technocrats? Do you think they sufficiently handle it? Because my next question was is this a matter of aging and aged facilities and equipment or management?
Shanique, when since have we seen governments in this country empower technocrats to be responsible for either A, giving accounting of what happens in our government, or B, taking credit for what happens? We have politicians who want to be seen as being overall responsible for what is happening in this country as long as it is positive. But when it's negative, they find it very convenient to thrust the technocrats or the non-elected officials before the cameras to be able to take the heat. And that's wrong. What I'm saying is we have a situation here where this government, which is a government of spin, of public relations, and not a government of action, they are very seasoned at campaigning, but they're extremely poor at governing.
Well, what do you think of the energy reform and the announcement of that? And have you been able to discover how far along are we in that?
Well, I invite people at BPL to provide me with whatever information that they are privy to, so that I can have a greater degree of information to be in a position to properly speak to the myriad of issues affecting BPL. But I can assure you, someone is not being truthful. You cannot say from 2021 to 2025 that you have initiated a reform plan for BPL, and you cannot tell me that you are well into this plan, then ask to be re-elected and say you are a government of progress. Shortly after your re-election, all hell breaks loose, everything goes to hell, all right? You're failing at the most basic and fundamental duties of a government to provide electricity to your people and those who are within your country, to provide health care to your citizens, to have good roads that are passable, that people can drive on, okay? The electricity being out, you don't even have street lights that are operating. And you're trying to tell me it's better in the Bahamas? You're trying to tell me that this is progress? I'd say to everybody who has an ounce of common sense, Tell me if you really believe that this, what we are seeing right now, is evidence of progress. And
But
listen
what
to
do
me,
you- well,
Bahamians are not fools.
Well, then, Dr. Rollins, answer this. How less than 2 months ago, Bahamians bought that message of progress and rejected the FNM's message?
Well, I can assure you that Bahamians had an opportunity to buy what the Progressive Liberal Party was selling. And I think right now they are suffering from a serious case of buyer's remorse.
If the FNM were government, if you all were elected less than 2 months ago, what would you be doing differently at BPL? BPL seems to be the hardest fix for the longest while right now in the nation.
We don't have transparency.
What would you do differently?
This government came to power with their most recent speech from the throne, and they promised the full enrollment, or enactment rather, of the Freedom of Information Act. Another thing that I don't buy, again, this is a government of spin, of public relations. This is not a government that wants to be held accountable. They said that they would enact the Freedom of Information Act, right? Fine. Yet they only apportion $100,000 towards the implementation of Freedom of Information Act.
Why do you suppose so many administrations, even up right now to today, are reluctant to enact, enforce, fully introduce and move forward with the Freedom of Information Act?
They don't want transparency, Shanique. They don't want people like you in the media. They don't want members of the public to have access to the information to be able to show whether what they are saying is in fact supported by the facts that are disclosed when they request information from the government. I can tell you this, all right? We have fundamentally, we have a government of darkness. It is very ironic with all of the electrical power failures we have in this country, but this is a government of darkness.
In which ways do you mean? Okay, you say electricity is one. Well, and
they operate. They love to operate in the shadows. They love to operate in a fashion that deprives the public the opportunity to truly see what they are doing. They govern on press releases. Oh, you're going to see a lot of press releases. Where are they showing you that they are prepared to answer the tough questions? They're not interested in being asked the tough questions, nor are they prepared to answer them. They deliberately went about in 2021 gutting the media. They took most of the senior, most seasoned journalists in this country, and they gave them plum jobs in the public sector. Do I blame the members of the media, the seasoned members, for leaving? Absolutely not.
Well,
because they have families to take care of as well.
I was about to say, maybe that's
right?
something, should you be successful in leading any party and being elected as leader of the nation, you can address. Because the veterans in media leave media because, Dr. Rollins, they don't make handsome salaries.
Well, what I will say is this. The Cub reporters, I urge them to find their courage, because we need them. They are no less important than I am as a member of parliament, because they are going to put me in a position as member of parliament to be able to better do my job. Mm-hmm. I want them to find the courage and ask the questions. And if they are victimized for being forthright, for being aggressive in doing their jobs, it is up to us and members of civil society to come to their defense.
I agree. Let's shift gears, because I have a lot to ask you, and you know that this time goes by so quickly on the show. So let's shift gears to exactly where you are. You've just been elected. It's not your first time. But let's just talk about you in Parliament now. What is this dance between you and the Speaker of the House, Patricia DeVoe? Everything you do goes viral. Every exchange between the two of you will go viral. And people love it. However they respond to it. I'm sure you've seen some of it, and some of it is for fun on social media. What's that about?
You know, as funny as it may sound, I have fondness for the Speaker. If I see her right now, I'm going to give her a hug. And I don't want people...
Have you ever hugged her?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want people to perceive that I mean the Speaker any ill will. Mm-hmm. I don't. You know, while I'm forceful in the House, you know, I have a big heart, and she has a difficult job. She's under a lot of pressure, intense pressure from the party that she belongs to try to stifle the voices of the opposition. All I ask for Madam Speaker to do is to appreciate her role as the guardian of our democracy in that place, to allow us to do our jobs for and on behalf of the Bahamian people, because there are PLPs who are frustrated by all of the things happening in this country. The more recent revelations of, look at what happened in Bimini today, all right?
Yeah.
We had Latre Raming, who's no stranger to this show. He said a year ago that 15 to 20 fire trucks were on order from Europe, okay? And he said that the person responsible for the trucks, the fire trucks arriving here to the Bahamas, was none other than the Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Shanton Knowles. Now, there have been absolutely no reports of any fire trucks arriving since that statement was made by the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister a year ago. And in Bimini today, all right, and my family has ties to Bimini. Okay, so I want people to know I'm not speaking as somebody who does not appreciate. We got a lot of, Bimini is as much a part of the Bahamas as Long Island is, and New Providence.
Absolutely.
So they deserve the attention of the Bahamian people. How is it that Perry Christie could serve as Prime Minister and talk glowingly about us having anchor projects go throughout the archipelago? We have an anchor project in Bimini, and we have no functioning fire truck.
Well, I want to ask you, first, when did this start? When did this sort of dereliction not being able to supply every Family Island community with a fire truck start? Did it start?
Don't ask me when it started. This administration was re-elected. They came in 2021.
And promised
a year ago, they said 15 to 20 fire trucks were on order and on their way.
Point taken.
And so now they are into their 5th year as government of this country. And so you ask me where we are today? We are in a state of failure brought on by a government that promised progress. And we see every day evidence of regression.
Let's talk about the 2026-2027 budget. Do you think it got it right when it comes to addressing the cost of living and bringing relief?
They're great at putting words on paper. The PLP are great at putting words on paper. Show me evidence of the action behind the words. Look at how beautiful the press release was talking about BPL changing hands. We still don't know who owns BPL today. I mean, let's call it, be accurate here. Bahamas Grid Company.
Bahamas Grid, right.
Okay, all right. BPL basically has 40% ownership of Bahamas Grid, which means the Bahamian public has 40% ownership of it, which is the grid supplying the electrical infrastructure of this country, how we get our electricity. 60% of that is owned by a private consortium, private investors. We still don't know who these private investors are. And you tell me, as a government promising freedom of information, you can't tell me the most basic information? Grand Bahama, they just purchased Emera in Grand Bahama under a new name now. And we still don't know whether the deal has been consummated and what is happening in terms of that sale.
What do you make, though, of
They're
the
not
government?
interested in transparency.
What do you make of the government and its I guess, delivering on relief when it comes to removing and expanding the VAT-free items of food in food stores?
You know, the way it's structured, if you look deep into the details and how that whole practice operates, they've done it whereby it seems as though the government has reduced VAT, but they have made it so that the costs will be borne by the businesses, meaning that it's not zero rated, it's VAT exempt. And so it ends up whereby the costs are now, because it doesn't, there's no way for the businesses to redeem what they are owed by the government as it relates to VAT. So they end up now having much smaller profit margins. What do you think happens when they have to deal with their expenses? They're going to find other ways to make up for what they're losing based on this clever tax structure employed by the government. So what it is, it's sleight of hand. It's seeming to give while they're taking away from someplace else. And that's what we have to be careful of, And this is why we need transparency. This is why we need proper discussion about these issues. Everything they put on press release to make it sound like they're doing great things, but in actuality, that couldn't be further from the truth.
I want you to come back, One
last thing I want to do.
Wait, come back after the break. No, I will not dare have you here for just one segment. No, sir. By the way, one viewer said, listen, let Andre Rollins know this, that the media and victimization in media is very real, and both parties are guilty of it, of victimizing media personalities, and so many things go into a lot of decisions that are made. Beyond the Headlines is just getting started, because when I come back, I'm going to shift to the FNM. He has a lot to say, right, about the government, but we can talk with the FNM and his role. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this. Stay close.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes your process you and entertains them.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price at any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
It's Independence time again, and Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating big savings with their 20% off store-wide sale. With new styles arriving, they have just what you need for your kitchen, living room, and patio. And the first 10 customers get an additional $50 off their tile purchase. Come on in July 8th and July 9th and enjoy big Independence Day savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas' independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
My name is Charles Wesley Gould. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
My special guest this evening, Dr. Andre Rollins. He is the Shadow Minister of Energy in the Free National Movement and the FNM's Member of Parliament for Long Island. At the top segment, we were speaking about mainly BPL and other issues as well as it relates to the economy and what he feels is the government's failure to deliver on progress, as he put it. But I'm going to shift focus in this segment, and so I'll start right out there. Was it a fair ask of you, Dr. Rollins, to ask Dr. Minnis last week to use your platform and your wonderful influence and voice to help be the glue that the FNM needs and to unify the FNM? Was that fair of you to ask Dr. Minnis that?
Well, let's be clear. I didn't say anything about Dr. Minnis being any glue for the FNM.
That was my word.
Right? But I want everybody to know we have only ever had 5 prime ministers in this country, and every last one of them deserve the respect that that office demands. And while even in the House, some people will recall me being very firm, even confrontational, as it were, toward former Prime Minister Perry Christie, that is because while the office deserves respect, when you sit in that office, you ought to be accountable, all right? And so there's nothing wrong with us questioning our politicians. That's healthy, that's important. Having said that, we have only ever had 2 prime ministers, the FNM that is, who have, or the FNM has only ever had 2 leaders who became prime minister.
Right.
That's the Right Honorable Hubert Ingraham, Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis. Forget about any personal feelings that I have about either of those gentlemen, okay? Forget about any past history I have with them. The reality is I have the utmost respect for the substantial pressure that comes with that office.
So do you think that he still has a role to play in the FNM, and was he treated fairly in your view?
My job as a member of the Free National Movement is to want to see the party grow, to want to see the party be as unified as it can be, because that is how you are at your strongest, to be able to wage political war against a party as strong as the Progressive Liberal Party is. I mean, let there be no mistake. Let's not pretend here, all right? The Free National Movement, to be at its, in its best fighting shape, needs all hands on deck. I know that's a cliche that's often used, but it is reality. And having the respect that I do for the service Dr. Minnis provided the country, all right, I recognize that he has persons who are affected by how they perceive he is treated. And so all I'm saying is, let us show him the respect of a former leader and former prime minister.
Have you shared this with the you know, behind closed doors with the top tier of the party?
All I'm saying is, any role that Dr. Minnis has to play in the Free National Movement is a decision for the Free National Movement, in particular, its council. That does not come before me. All I can offer as advice is to say, let's be mature about how we treat him, and let us not cut off our noses to spite our faces. That's all.
Dr. Rollins, the FNM was beaten soundly at the polls about roughly now 2 months ago. What kind of opposition do you believe the Bahamian people want to, need to, and must see from the FNM in this term?
Bahamians want fighters. Simple as that. They don't want, I think Bahamians have grown very cynical or distrusting of politicians. They believe that we get into politics to enrich ourselves, to improve our own circumstances, when in actuality they vote for us to go there to make things better for the Bahamian people. They're looking side-eye at us. They're saying, you all are going there seemingly to better yourselves, and you forget about the people you say you care about. What I am saying is to ensure that Bahamians become more involved in the political process, the way they used to be. We need greater transparency. We need to open up the workings of government to the Bahamian people so that they can begin to trust us again. We need to show Bahamians that we're serious. As opposition, I'm talking. As opposition.
Yes.
That we're serious about doing things that reflect a listening ear to the public.
Do you think that's being achieved? I know it's only 2 months in, but it seems as though the Bahamian people did not buy any of that, which you're describing, as it relates to the FNM being able to deliver it. How will the FNM go about saying, listen, hi, we are still here, we are competitors in this fight, and we deserve your attention and your trust once again?
I think they see that in the opposition right now. I think that they recognize that we have come with a degree of fight and grit that they expect from us. And, Michael Pintard is our leader. We are here as members of parliament. I am here along with my colleagues to support him. And of course, to be ambassadors for the Free National Movement, because by us being effective as ambassadors of the Free National Movement and giving the Bahamian people hope that we are sincere when we say we want to see a much better country than we're seeing right now, then that's where our credibility comes from. That's currency. When people say, you know what, I believe him, I believe her, they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And until we have that type of credibility in the eyes of the Bahamian people, then we're not going to get to where we're trying to go. And we are trying to be government one day. It's not going to happen anytime soon because we just came out of an election. But our job now is to hold the government accountable.
So when
and
you
look
say
at
anytime
this.
soon, what you mean? Because a term can run up pretty quickly. So what you mean it's not going to happen anytime soon?
When the Progressive Liberal Party lost in 2017, they engaged in a perpetual campaign. It was a 4+ year campaign.
Is
for
the
them.
FNM doing that now?
No, we're doing what an opposition is supposed to do. We are holding this government accountable for their stewardship of this of the reins of the country that they've been given by the Bahamian people. And I will say this, and I don't believe I was exaggerating. I think there's a tremendous degree of buyer's remorse, only less than 2 months in. Last thing I want to say, and just so you can appreciate where I'm coming from, I'm not just going to blame a shadow minister for energy and utilities, energy, utilities, and aviation as it is. I'm not just going to blame JoBeth Colby Davis. We have a situation where in healthcare, we have a generator. 2 months ago, a request was submitted to the managing director of the Public Hospitals Authority for a transfer switch for the generator. Do you know that the failings of BPL were amplified because of the failure by the managing director to purchase a transfer switch? And now we have dialysis patients who have to go to doctor's hospital at public expense. You don't want to imagine the cost that's going to bring.
And listen, healthcare, I've spoken to numerous ministers of health, not just the present one, and I've heard it said how healthcare really has been fumbling and stumbling for decades. But where do you think it needs to start to turn healthcare around?
You know where it needs to start?
Where?
What I just mentioned just now, that person is a political appointee. We need to stop making people responsible for things strictly on the basis of their political affiliation, because we've shown time and time again that's not how you properly run a country.
Would an Andre Rollins FNM stop making political appointees and stop looking for the people who walked with you, campaigned with you, worked for you, and pointing them to positions, whatever those positions are? Would an Andre Rollins FNM stop that practice?
Well, I can tell you this. Any government that I'm a part of, one of the leading criterion will be qualification for the job. It has to be merit-based, because if you are going to make an appointment, let it be an appointment that is going to actually cause you to be shown in a very positive light. It will bring credit to you for having appointed that person to that post. But if you put incompetent people in important jobs and they fail, they make you look bad.
Andre Rollins, you say it's a switch that's needed for the generator.
A transfer switch.
A transfer switch.
So that when the power goes out,
it
automatically causes the generator to switch on.
Madam Managing Director, you must respond to this.
Respond.
He just what the Shadow Minister of Energy, Aviation,
and the spokesperson for
Utilities, and the spokesperson for health said this evening here that it's just a switch that's been requested now for a longer time.
2 months ago, she got the request put on her table and did nothing. And not only that, today we have people who could not be transported by gurney from the accident and emergency up to the ward that they were assigned to, simply because the elevator was not functioning.
Andre Rollins, now you know PMH had its issues from a long time. Do you support the new hospital?
You know what? No, I don't.
Andre Rollins, right? Why?
Do you know why?
When PMH continues to be a patchwork of confusion.
If I can't properly run what I have now, how do you expect me to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in something else before I invest hundreds of millions of dollars in what I have that's not working.
You must come back. You have to, because my team will rile me in the back there if I don't go to the break that they've already sent me to.
And I just want to ask you this question.
Yes.
We talked about political appointees. I'd just like for you to invite your panelist who's going to come here after me, who is in fact a political appointee at BPL, who's being paid to give positive press for BPL. I want you to ask, I think her name is Candace Scott. I want you to ask her if she could speak to what is going on at BPL honestly and truthfully and acknowledge that it is unacceptable what is happening right now.
Well, she doesn't speak to BPL's issues on the show. She doesn't speak to BPL's issues, and so that's it. Now wait a minute though. How is this Andre Rollins?
Come on, let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation.
It's three, so you pick and fight.
No, what I'm saying is, let's stop the spin. Let's stop the public relations.
Andre, she does not speak on BPL here on the show.
Not here on the show?
No.
Well, I want her to give an honest assessment of what's happening at BPL.
But she can't. She doesn't, and she can't.
Another girl? Is that
no. What I think.
Pick and fight with another girl?
No.
Andre Rollins, you've been out of. Look at me.
The equality of the sexes is what we're about.
Look at me. You've been out of. Like I said, I love you.
The equality of the sexes is very important.
I need you back here.
The equality, Shanique, the equality of the sexes is very important. And I like to challenge my good friend. Maybe one of these days, maybe she will come to the realization that the country is far more important than...
She doesn't speak on... I'll tell you this. She doesn't come on the show and speak on being Don't you stop. Now, I want to ask you this. Wait a minute, Andre Rollins. You have been out of frontline politics for over 10 years now. Over 10 years.
Yes.
What's different about... I don't even know what the hell...
What's different about what?
I don't know how the hell to ask this question. What is different about Andre Rollins now versus Andre Rollins more than 10 years ago?
I think I've grown and developed, but I've maintained my fierceness. And I'm very passionate about seeing our country advance. And so this is a very small country. We're too small to allow ourselves to be divided along political lines. I don't believe any government should seek to hurt people on the basis of political affiliation.
You want speak?
All of us want a better country. And so, you're talking about panelists. We have two panelists who are coming on here, and I know they're patriotic Bahamians. I know they want the best for this country. All I believe is in trying to, encourage, a more objective analysis and assessment of where we are as a country. And I'm sure if you do that, you will have to acknowledge that we are not experiencing progress in this country. We are regressing under the stewardship of a government of public relations and spin.
I want you, but are you interested in leadership of the FNM? That is what they say. They say you've been making media rounds all day today and before, and all these things you do in the House of Assembly, you're positioning yourself. Yes or no? I have to go.
What I'm saying is I want Long Island to know I'm going to be there tomorrow. I want this government to do what it says it wants to do for Long Island, because if they do really well for Long Island, then they stand a chance of trying to be competitive. But if they try to victimize Long Island because of my stance in holding them to account, then not only, let them suffer.
No, but we know we hear your voice.
Don't do that. Don't say let them suffer. No, listen, one thing about us Long Islanders, we're very independent, and we will not lay down and play dead. We're going to stay strong. The reason we are as strong as we are is because of political victimization by the PLP. And I can tell you this, that has made us so resilient, and we will stay that way.
Thank you very much. Andre Rollins, I thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting the invitation. I hope you do that again and again. Hit me up when you want to come and discuss issues as well. I'm open to that. It's good to have you here. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
And of course,
thank you for having me.
Looking forward to having you again. I'll tell you that, and I mean that. This is Beyond the Headlines. Let me tell you something. When we come back, we'll see what they have to say, because I don't know everything that's been said, but stay exactly where you are. We're back after this.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
But I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them.
Pages, you know, you just do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
Would it be walking back that Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying
because
to
he also.
say. Carla, I don't even know what breadbasket anymore either. What do y'all people say?
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
But I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them.
Pages, you know, do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
Would it be walking back that Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying
because
to
he also.
say. Carla, I don't even know what breadbasket anymore either. What do y'all people say?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you all tuned in this evening. Yes, it's quite warm in here, but I'll tell you, obviously, if you were just joining, I had for most of the hour the Free National Movement's Member of Parliament for Long Island, Dr. Andre Rollins, who is also the Shadow Minister of Energy, Aviation and Utilities and the spokesperson for health, here on the first two segments. And of course, he addressed those issues and a number of others as well about his future. Well, he didn't quite answer that, did he? Didn't quite answer that. But I'll tell you, we look forward to having him again and continuing the conversation and hearing some of his views on some of the issues that continue to come up in the nation. Meanwhile, though, the Hot Topics panel, my lord, the Hot Topics panel is here. I don't even know who here. Let's just see. Good evening. It's good to have you all here. It's good to see you, Cassia Stewart. It's good to see you, Peggy Candace. It's good to see you, Howard Johnson. Good evening to each of you.
You're supposed to say, let's get ready to rumble!
Ooh, not even good evening.
Y'all missed the behind the scenes, all those
so
scrap
silly.
by the two of them. They almost scrap just now. Peggy and everybody.
Cassius, you're so silly. Happy Independence to all of you. Cassius, I tell you. Listen, Dr. Rollins addressed a lot and spoke to a lot. He questioned y'all. He questioned whether or not BPL did have an incident involving a natural matter, which of course we know was the lightning strike that was reported, and a number of other things. He talked about the fact that Dr. Minnis deserves the respect that he perhaps that is lacking within the FNM as being a former prime minister and only one of two for the Free National Movement to have been elected to higher office. Your thoughts on anything Dr. Rollins had to say this evening?
Dr. Rollins, like I said, first of all, I think Andre's a really nice guy. He just got to temper his anger because sometimes it can get out of control. I think you're positioning yourself for leader of the party, but that comes with a certain degree of control, and you have to exert that control no matter which area you're in, which company you're in, or which situation you're in, and that you have to always be in control. And sometimes you could push the wrong buttons and cause the whole thing to get out of control, like end up the studio almost end up in a rumble for the jungle. But like I said, he is right. Dr. Minnis has given his contribution, and he should be respected. Perry Christie has given contribution, he should be respected. Hubert Ingram, and so on. And any politician who has offered themselves for a public life should be respected. And so I agree with him in that regard. But I think we still have a lot of things to fix in this country, and I think he should continue to agitate, because only way you get things done is when you agitate to get it done. And so the agitation is what causes the government to stay in line. The government has a large cabinet, a large seating in the House, and they could get lax. And if you don't agitate, sometimes they could drift for the next 5 years and get absolutely nothing done but just singing and dancing. And so that agitation is critical to making sure that we can get the maximum, the best out of this country.
Good night, Shanique. I don't know if thank you for being here, but good night. One of the definition of shadow, he called himself the shadow minister and the spokesperson, is a translucent object. And I told him in his face that I saw through him because he's like shining through a translucent object. Obviously, I'm a trigger for him. He know me well, or at least one of my personalities very well. And so I thought he gave an interview of assumption, and we know the word assumption, the first three letters. He gave the interview of assumption. He's well versed, very fluent in all things PLP, or so he thinks. But when it's times to talk about the FNM, he hooing and hawing and feeling for words. You ask him a direct question. Of course, every time you ask him a direct question, he changed the subject and always return back to the PLP. You said almost 2 months ago, the people made a decision. They chose progress. They decided to re-elect the brave Davis administration, which means that they rejected reset. They rejected the leadership of the FNM. When I saw Dr. Rollins, I said, oh, the eclipse of Michael Pintard. Yeah, I see you, Dr. Rollins, and you like fight with girls, and you pick a good one. Candy Scott, she don't play.
Howard?
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas. So, Shanique, I'll start here because I know I got to go quick. So, Dr. Rollins made a few very salient points that we cannot ignore. And they highlight the complexity and the murkiness of when you have the political directorate seemingly interfering with public utilities companies. So what do I mean by that? When you have the minister, who we've given credit to, who's done a great job in the aggregate, I believe, over the time that she has been the minister. However, when you take the credit or you get credit, you also have to take the criticism along with that. So we can't say add a girl to Minister Colby Davis when there are some good things going on relative to energy policy in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and then when something like this weekend happens and we don't hear anything from her for 72 hours, it's okay to just blame BPL. No, clear, concise communication has to come from everywhere, and that's the political directorate as well as the technocrats and the administration of BPL. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But as we move along, with relative to the exchange with Peggy, I noted with interest that Mr. Rollins would say that Peggy, let's have your analyst speaking the truth and not being political. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Rollins said he doesn't think it was an act of God that caused this outage the other day, which means that he believes that something happened and the PLP administration is just making things up or lying. Yeah. Well, that's a political argument too that he's making, right? That's political spin just like he is accusing Peggy of her political spin. And what am I pointing that out for? These are the things that we need to start leaving alone. Whether it was an act of God or it was something manual that has been broken down because of neglect over the years, the fact remains, people in Dr. Andre Rollins' position have to be coming up with solutions, not just pulling out political receipts.
Well, I did ask him for solutions, Howard.
Right.
I did.
And finally, I want to say this on this point. Dr. Rollins said with great interest to me, well, as a former prime minister, Dr. Minnis deserves the respect. And yes, he does. But Dr. Rollins and the Gang of Eight were the ones who politically jerked Dr. Minnis up. And if it was up to them and their trajectory and destroying Dr. Minnis' political career, he would have never been the prime minister and the former prime minister today, who is saying that everybody should uphold and herald as one of the great saviors of the party moving forward. So, there's a little bit of hypocrisy there from Dr. Rollins, because now, as a former prime minister, he's good. But when he was the leader of the party, when you need to be the leader of your party to be the prime minister, you jerk him up then. But he okay now after he then being prime minister. So, we got to fix some stuff.
Translucent, we
Quite
see through you.
interesting perspectives, Howard. Quite interesting. You both and Peggy, this morning, something unfortunate happened on the island of Bimini. There was a fire that I imagine started in one house, but we all know the structure and how Bimini is structured. So it quickly spread, and a total of 6 houses were destroyed. What was vexing is that there is no fire truck on the island of Bimini. But it's not working? You said there is?
No, I have breaking news where they said that a fire truck was on. There's a picture of a fire truck on its way to the fire nonetheless,
well,
it was
story
there.
tonight, I wish we had time to air that story. The story tonight, and no one responded between 7 and 8, and at this very moment said that there is no fire truck on the island of Bimini, or if there's one, it's not working. I don't know. Is it still trying to get to the fire?
Shanique, we've been here before last year. And we've been here before last year. There was a fire. I was on the same show.
We did.
When we had another fire in Bimini. There was no truck and the place burned down. And we still saying the same thing again?
Unless ZNS Northern Service is misleading us. But there's a video saying Bimini Airport fire truck deployed to extinguish structural fire. And this is the video.
Well, the 6 houses were lost in the story that Eyewitness News carried tonight. It said in that news story that there was no fire truck there, and so. But you all your thoughts.
We just gotta get serious with governing and stop playing government. That's my problem. We play government. You know that people's lives and livelihood are at stake, right? We could budget millions of dollars for this and millions of dollars to go here, but we can't budget $50,000, $100,000 for a fire truck to help people save people's lives. Stop playing government. That's my problem. All of these family of islands that we claim to be our islands, put fire truck, put ambulance on it. I remember one time I was in Harbour Island and the man get hit with a boat. They grabbed the man and threw him on the back of one BC truck. I mean, by the time they didn't throw him, he was half dead. You know what I mean? And I said to myself, what would we come into? I mean, this is how the people live in the islands. There is no resort, no help. And so let's stop playing government, Mr. Government, whoever you is. And so we need to make sure that if we can budget, let's budget to make sure that, first of all, we have fire trucks and ambulance on every family of islands. And if you all don't want, let me go beg somebody to go get it. If you all put me in charge of begging the ambulance and the fire truck, because I'm sure somewhere around the world, someone will be glad to give me a fire truck and an ambulance. Because I just sick of that. We shouldn't be talking about this again.
So at risk of being the spin master, once again, the Northern Services, ZNS, has reported and post the video of a fire engine on its way to the fire structure. I only could say what they post. So Northern Service, ZNS, if you lying, stop lying.
How would your thoughts before we move
Shanique,
on?
Yeah, Shanique, so all of the islands that have humans on them in the Bahamas, right? We have to make sure that there are certain things that are in place for human beings to function in their natural capacities and in their natural habitat. You need food, you need education, you need water, you need healthcare, right? So I'll go back to something Dr. Rollins said. He was talking about how under former Prime Minister Christie, we have anchor projects. Well, we need anchor emergency equipment and anchor emergency personnel on all of these islands. So I hope that becomes part of the healthcare policy of some government moving forward, where you have the basic emergency and life-saving equipment like fire trucks and ambulances and adequate medical facilities in these populated islands so that our people can have the proper care when these things happen. We know catastrophes are going to happen. There are going to be boating accidents. Unfortunately, there are going to be shootings. There are going to be stabbings. There's going to be medical emergency events. These are going to take place, and we need to have the preventative measures and the preventative equipment in place so when these needs arise, we are able to kick into action.
Yes, absolutely. Today, panel, the Ministry of Transport launched a road safety campaign. It's One Life Too Many campaign in an effort to promote safe driving. Now, and while that's an excellent effort by the Ministry of Transport, it is one of the videos. Now, guys, do we have that? Can we at least play that and get that in the segment? Maybe not, because I'm looking at the time. And we'll come back and revisit it after independence. But surprise, surprise, one of the videos that the ministry put out there, have you all seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Howard, I'm sure you saw it. Mario Boleg and Senator Rick Fox.
Yeah.
That's right. And they were together talking about and trying to encourage people to drive safely, put the phones down, buckle up, all the rest of it. I think it's a wonderful image, message, and tone that this campaign has set by using both those gentlemen. Your thoughts on just the maturity of you? Okay, they'll play for me.
Bahamas, we are all different. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different perspectives.
But when it comes to saving lives on our roads, there's something we can all agree on.
Road safety isn't political.
It's personal.
Every life lost is someone's child, someone's parent, someone's friend.
And every one of us has a role to play in preventing the next tragedy.
Slow down.
Stay focused.
Put the phone away.
Never drink and drive.
Let's look out for one another and make it home safely.
Because one life lost on our road is one too many. One life too many.
I'll give you each 10 seconds to respond because, of course, you hear they are telling me I must rock right now.
Well, before my response, I'm going to say, listen, Shanique, I just want to make a presentation to you on my book, my latest book, When the Freedom Fighters Become a Slave Master.
My boy!
And listen, we have a book launch this Sunday at Gold at 6 o'clock. Shanique, I would like to make an official donate presentation.
Thank you. Very nice.
You got to do it one shake hand, you get
yes.
And listen, you got a copy of my book.
Thank you.
Let the audience know that all you who say you love me, the book launch is on Sunday at Goldwyn at 6 o'clock. If you love me, please come out to the book launch. And let Shanique show you the book sheet.
Listen, thank you all so much. Happy Independence, everyone. Happy Independence. Thank you very much for tuning in. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.